are listening to WHOA Podcast, coming to you from Gainesville, Florida.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the WHOA GNV Podcast, the Coronavirus Sessions. Again, every weekday at noon, we are bringing you just a little session with the local Gainesville business leader, business owner, community member to talk about how we are navigating through this coronavirus how we're navigating through this coronavirus in order to get the community through this thing together, in order to really save as many jobs, save as many businesses as we possibly can. That is the goal behind doing this every weekday, and I hope that sharing these stories will just help everybody get through it. But before we get into it, let me throw it over to my co-host, Michael Dees. How are you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm actually really excited because after we wrap up here, I'm going to the dealership to sell a scooter for the first time in what seems like forever. So hopefully that works out. I'm happy to actually get a sale. We're doing it by appointment only, but it's good. It feels good to be going back to actually get some business.
Yeah, man. I was at the dealership today. I think that the service team. So everybody knows we are an essential business. Our service team is back there behind closed doors, behind the scene, working on some scooters and stuff. And the energy seemed good. Everybody seemed like in good spirits, and so that's always important. And we'll continue to see what happens. But it was good. I had to go. I actually collected things that I hadn't collected before, like the scanner. I brought a bunch of stuff home because I'm like, man, I'm so fearful that I am going to be forced out and not going to be able to get back in to get the things that I need. So I've been taking pieces slowly home that I think that I will need in order to scan bills to our bookkeeper or whatever we got to do,
Sure.
But before we get into this episode, I want to thank our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Crime Prevention Security Systems. They've been one of our fantastic sponsors in the first quarter. Now we're into quarter two, baby. And these guys will keep you and your family safe. And keep your business safe as well. Got a really, really cool app, abilities to let people in and out of your business, like with using your phone, using your app, baby. And they're just such a great piece of the community. These guys are always investing into the community. So I'm just super grateful for them and for their sponsorship. So Crime Prevention Security Systems, thank you so much. Businesses out there, please reach out to them. Let them protect your family. Let them protect your business. You can reach out to them at cpss.net, and they'll take care of you. So thank you again, Crime Prevention Security Systems. And of course, I want to introduce my man, my friend, the only, the one, Jason Hurst of Maple Street Biscuit Company. What is up, man? How are you?
Man, this is interesting time. Every day is different, man. I'm just waking up like, let's go. What's gonna happen today? Are we open? We close? What's happening?
No.
Last time you and I discussed in a forum like this, I was just getting started, so it was a whole different set of challenges. Now we're kind of deep in the trenches and we're just hitting our stride. And then, like, you ever seen the Olympics where they're hitting their stride and they pass the baton and it's like, oh, fumble. Like we're in that fumble stage, so we got to make up the last leg, man. But it's interesting. It keeps us on our toes, and I say in the darkest hour you see the lights of most people's hearts shining. So this is an opportunity for us to shine our light a little bit brighter. So we're happy about it.
Yeah. Are your goals on April 2nd, when we're recording this, April 2nd, 2020, your goals today the same as they were on January 1st?
You ever heard the Good Times theme song? Scratching and surviving, easy credit ripoffs, keeping your head above water. That's our goal right now. Good time.
Yeah, it's so funny because I've really been reflecting on that. Cause obviously, because we just finished the first quarter of the year, right? So I'm like, this first quarter was not what I expected. Everybody's like 2020, let's go. We've got this. We're gonna crush this year. This is gonna be the year of growth.
Our year.
This is our year. We got this. And then 3 months later, man, I'm just hoping we're in business next week. If we're in business next week,
it'll be bounce.
That's right.
Right.
Oh man, so it's crazy
it's interesting. I said at the beginning of this year, it felt like a year that was going to be our greatest our greatest year ever. It felt like that at the beginning of the year. Is something about 2020, not just because it was the new decade, not because everybody was saying 2020 vision this, 2020 vision that. I can see clear now. But it was because it just felt that way. But anytime you have great vision or you're about to do something great, expect great opposition. And really in my meditation time, since I've got a lot of that right now, in my meditation time, I've been really just meditating on alignment and order. This is a time for alignment and order, getting things aligned that have been out of whack, whether it be spiritually, whether it be emotionally, whether it be with your family, a time to get in line and time to put things in order. I know we had a lot of stuff that was out of order. My schedule was out of order. I mean, I'm doing real estate and restaurants right now, two of the most intensely operative businesses. My marriage was a little bit off. My relationship with my kids was a little bit off. This is the time where we really get aligned and also get in order, get those things in order that have been out of place. Because I still think, just like in any game, the second half is always really when you really see who shines bright. Like you never would have thought the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when the Patriots were down 28-3 that they'd mount one of the biggest comebacks in history. I think that the second half of this year is going to be one of the biggest comebacks for a lot of brands if we can just get in order and get in line the first half of this year.
I love that, man. I love that perspective. That's good. So, I mean, you have I got New Scooters Plus to worry about. I got Repaint to worry about. We got the podcast to worry about. I mean, you're very similar to us, is that you got a lot going on. You got two Maple Street Biscuit Companies locations, right? So you got that going on. You got some real estate stuff going on. I mean, where are you at? I mean, what was the biggest, when this thing started going down, what actions did you start taking? Were you having team meetings? What were those like? Just give us a summary of, 2 weeks ago when this thing really started, by the time this airs, it'll probably be 3 weeks. So like 2 or 3 weeks ago when this really started to happen.
Yeah. When it started to happen, I mean, like I said, we were hitting our stride in sales, record sales at both stores. My real estate career was really taking off. I had just recently gotten promoted, doing business all over the state. Whereas before our transition to Avis and Young from Front Street, I was doing a lot of business locally, which I was fortunate about. But I was starting to expand my brand, my personal brand across the state. Was building a team. So I mean, we were rocking and rolling, man. But it's like that game Musical Chairs, when everybody's going around and there's one chair missing, and that chair was like pulled from under us, man. And it was not like you saw it coming. It was something that happened like on Friday, I'm in a traffic jam. And then on Monday, I throw a rock and not hit a single car, like on my way to work. So, it definitely took a step back very quickly, but it caused me to wonder, what are the needs of people right now? Because it's really not about me right now. Everyone has really turned inwardly focused at this point, and it's not about what you can do for yourself at this moment. I know as business owners, we have all these grandiose plans at the beginning of a year on what we can accomplish for ourselves and for our business and for the people connected to our business. But now we had to be outwardly focused more so now than I can ever remember. I mean, the last thing that this major and this magnitude was Hurricane Katrina. We were trying to figure out what we can do to help Louisiana, but this is something that is affecting literally every single person in the world right now. But yeah, obviously we can't touch everyone in the world, especially with social distancing. Obviously, there's some barriers there, but we can touch the community, especially with the platform that you guys have at the Whoa GNV podcast and with New Scooters for Less. So we turned and really started focusing on how we can use our business, both in real estate and the restaurants, to really affect change in the community. So we're doing a lot of programs with the restaurant. I know we're doing the Biscuit for Heroes program. A lot of people.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, tell everybody about that, because that's really, really awesome, man. We really appreciate you doing that.
No, it's a pleasure. Listen, the healthcare community is literally putting their lives on the line every single day. They could be affected and carry it back to their communities, carry it back to their homes and to their loved ones. But they're sowing a seed towards the community right now. So a lot of people were really wondering, because we were in all kind of chat groups right now, and really hearing the pulse of what's going on and the needs and cries of the people. So we heard that healthcare workers were on a lot of people's hearts. So we created an avenue whereby we can obviously as a business, we want to be sustainable. So we definitely appreciate the sales from that. But more so, we were focused on how we can mobilize the troops and the food, so to speak, to those who just need a meal. We serve comfort foods with a modern twist. So obviously a lot of people need comfort right now. So we were really trying to mobilize some comfort to those individuals who are working double hours, double shifts in Shands, in the VA, in North Florida, and the pediatric clinics all over the place. I mean, we're jam-packed, but this provides a level of hope for them. And it also makes people feel good about doing something for others from a monetary standpoint, even though they're not the people that can deliver it. We are the ones that are putting ourselves out there to deliver it. So we're calling it the Biscuits for Heroes program for first responders and healthcare workers.
And so like a business like ours could just, contribute, like buy food, buy meals. Like, how does it work? Or we just donate money and on your website or something? Like, how does
so
it,
you can go to you can go to www.maplestreetbiscuits.com, and on the main landing page we put the Biscuit for Heroes program up there. You can buy boxes in increments. I think the lowest increment starts at about $100, but we've had people that have bought multiple boxes. $100 feeds 10 people. So every increment of 100 feeds another 10 people. But what we're doing as an added benefit to people who do that and participate in that program is they get 10% back in the form of a gift card to spend at Maple Street Biscuits, whether it be ordering online or curbside pickup. We're still open for those two mediums, and we're still getting a lot of business that way. It's about 50% of our business right now, but we wanted to be able to give back to those people for sowing into others. So it's kind of like a pay it forward thing that's going on. And some people are using that gift card and turning it right back around and buying more meals for people, which is really cool. And it's really the coolest part about it is not necessarily the transaction that's taking place between us and the healthcare professionals and us and business owners and individuals in the community. The coolest part about it is now that we're doing it, other people are starting to roll out programs, and other people are starting to roll out programs. So we're not in competition by any means right now at this time. There is enough to go around for everybody, and there's enough help that's needed to where if we can inspire others to do it, we're all for that.
So what kind of changes has it meant for your team? Having to go to curbside takeout only. Have you had to, lay anybody off? Like, how has that affected, how you run your team?
Yeah, so I think I'm in the same boat as everybody else. We've definitely had to cut back on some hours, and we've got some great people that work for us from top to bottom, from front to back. Our entire staff is really mission-oriented and mission-minded people. So it's one of those things where when people go home from our business, they're not necessarily like dejected or ready to run out because we're so mission-minded. It's like, dang, I'm losing the opportunity to serve our mission. And there are some exceptions, obviously. There's some people that do just need a paycheck, and we're here for those people too. But yeah, we've had to cut back on some hours. But the programs like this are the things that give us the right to be able to give more people hours. So it serves kind of a double niche. It serves the niche of helping the community, but also serves the niche of helping our people stay employed and be able to support their families. So we really appreciate programs like that. We've also got a new program that we're getting ready to roll out called Families Helping Families, where families can help donate through our website as well to support a meal. We have a family size pack where they can buy a family size pack for another family in need. So we've had people that have lost their jobs and called in and asked for help. We've had people like Meridian Behavioral Health Care, who has a homeless recovery program. They called us and said, hey, whenever you get somebody calling and asking how can they help, we're raising our hands. So and then we've been able to help out there. We've had people like a Live Church and some of the local churches who have literally spent thousands of dollars with us and are now giving that away free to the community and putting it out on their social media to be able to buy from our pantry. Also, the pantry is another interesting concept that we rolled out. So I never thought I'd say this, but as of yesterday, the last week, we have sold more rolls of toilet paper than biscuits. So the Maple Street Pantry was birthed from the fact that if you go in any local grocery store, you name the grocery store, there are rows of stuff that are just missing. They can't keep up with demand, which is great for their business, but it's a detriment to the community because we're having people that are supposed to be staying at home, but they got to roll out to the grocery store every 3 days to see what the new supply is. So we had the power to leverage one of our suppliers to get toilet paper, hand soap, Joy dish detergent, paper towels, fresh produce, meats, all the essential items that people are running to Publix for and can't find, or they're in short supply, we're offering it at Maple Street Biscuit Company. So we're also taking that and bundling it up to make care packages, which churches are buying to give away to their partners. So it's just, it's definitely a business where I thought we would be trying to stay alive in restaurants, in the mind of a restaurant and serving a lot of food, but we've been doing a lot of other community initiatives to kind of help out.
So I got to ask, who gets credit for all these ideas? Like, is this all coming from you, or is this your team? Is this some kind of divine inspiration? Like, these are some great ideas that you got coming through in these times. So where are they coming from?
Yeah, dude, I thought you were napping all day. I was like, what's Jason doing? I figured just napping on.
No, I wish. No, man, I wish I could take credit for all this. You know, this is a testament to who Maple Street Biscuit Company is. I shared this on the leadership talk that I was on earlier. You know, when my son had left the light on one day this week, and I didn't notice that the light was left on. I told him to turn it off the night before. I didn't notice that the light was on. The light was on all day. So we've been doing this stuff all times. We're doing good, and everybody around is living life as normal. But when it got dark, I noticed that my son had left the light on, and it had been on all day, running up our bill. But it wasn't until it was dark again that I realized that the light was still on. In this dark time, the things that we've been doing the whole time are now getting noticed because the times are dark and people really need these things. So I wish I could take credit for it, but it is the brainchild of a lot of communication. I mean, we've been on calls. At one point, we were having multiple calls a day as things were changing rapidly in the state of Florida, in the state of all the different states where Maple Street does business in. So we've been just giving feedback on what other people were hearing in other parts of the country as they rolled out different stay-at-home plans in Tennessee or in Georgia. And then we rolled out our stay-at-home plan. We knew kind of what was coming, and we were able to prepare for it. So from top down, Scott Moore, who is our CEO, to all the way down to our stores here locally, it's just been a lot of communication, a lot of brain sharing, and a lot of mind encounters, because nobody's been through a time like this. But it makes it a lot easier when we can share ideas and kind of be ahead of the curve and think, how can we help people serve others and be a part of the community, and proactively ask what we've been doing for forever, ask it at a greater measure now that it's needed.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the I mean, you know, now you know, the governor set out like a, you know, stay at home order. You know, I know that businesses are, you know, restaurants are still allowed to operate, still allowed to do food. I mean, but you know, I'm kind of looking at this thing as there's probably going to be a time where you might not be able to, right? There might be a time where, like, you know, I'm looking at our business. We're considered an essential business too, and like we're working right now, you know, behind closed doors, like I said earlier. But like, yeah, I've been prepping my team. I'm like, get as much done right now, because there might not, you know, there might come a time where we're told to stay at home no matter what kind of business you are. Like, I really have no idea, right? So none of us have the crystal ball trying to predict the future. I mean, are you getting a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry from your team members? Like, what kind of reassurances are you offering to them? I mean, what are those conversations like? Or are they even taking place?
Yeah, oh yeah, they're taking place. I mean, we're on the call with all of the community leaders and all of the store owners throughout the country. Like I said, on a weekly basis. We're down now to 3 times a week. There is definitely a tension for sure, because we're serving the community, but at the time we're still part of this community too. Like, we still have to go to Publix and get stuff. We still have to you know, frequent these other essential businesses and find time to do that. So we're not exempt by any means. Just because we're open, we still have to live and be a part of this community. We have to homeschool our kids right now. So it's really interesting. It's really fun? Changing every day. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said that the anxiety isn't at an all-time high. But I know one thing that's helped us is the power of prayer. And no matter what your religion is or what your faith is in, there's a higher power that you're going to have to reach out to outside yourself, because you don't know the future. You don't know what the end is from the beginning. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a little bit of fear. The thing that grounds me is that we're still going to fulfill our mission. And I tell our people that the more you focus on others, the less you focus on the problems of yourself and the more you feel gratitude. I shared this on the call too. It says, he who sows sparingly reaps sparingly, but he who sows bountifully reaps bountifully. When you're sowing bountifully into other people, you're going to reap a harvest of bountiful blessings. And that's just a natural law. But no matter what you believe in faith-wise, that's just a natural law. And you see the biggest givers are sometimes the biggest receivers, and not that they do it to be the biggest receivers, but it's just a law. it's just the way it rolls. But yeah, we're just having a lot of communication, being very transparent. Everyone has been understanding up until this point. I mean, I've got a job where both the industries I'm in are 100% mission based. So if you ain't buying buildings, I ain't making money. If you ain't buying biscuits, we ain't making money. So it's an old Outkast song that says, if you don't move your feet, then I don't eat. So we're like neck to neck. More than ever, we're like all interconnected. And it's just, you just got to be transparent in your leadership now, because, people understand that. People will connect with your transparency and your vulnerability, because nobody's been through this. Not to my knowledge. Yeah. Nobody's been through a pandemic in my lifetime. I don't know if your parents have been through one, but I know my parents have definitely not been through a pandemic. My grandparents probably have been through the Great Depression, but they're all gone to see the Lord at this point. So we don't have a precedence for this, but the more we can communicate and be transparent and let people know to the greatest extent what's going on and how it affects us, but to keep mission minded and mission focused, that's the best we can do right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was gonna say, like, when I was speaking earlier, and I think even on the previous podcast we did, the thing that I noticed when this type of situation happens is that there's more community, there's more people coming together to serve each other, and and that's always really, really inspiring, and sometimes I think that's in God's plan, right? I think like he's trying to it's his way of showing us, like, this is the way it's supposed to be. And so, like, anytime there's something super negative like this, like I always try to find the positive in it, and that's the positive, man. That's more time with family. The gratitude that I have. I mean, I've talked about that on several of these already. It's like, the conversation that I had with my 10-year-old about the fact that the manufacturer, like, our scooters are manufactured in Italy. Vespa is in Italy, and these I'm talking to him about the fact that they're forced to stay at home, and a lot of them are sick, and they're not working on our scooters, and that chain, the fact that those scooters come to the United States and then go into my dealership, and that we're selling them to customers. We don't have a business without that manufacturer in Italy, and so, like, those conversations, and really being able to spend that time with my family, and really making my kids even understand the impact, and even the historical moment that they're living through, and not even realize it. They'll realize it 10 years from now. They'll look back and be like, man, like, I was like at 10 years old during that time. I don't know. It's just interesting, all those different things. And I just have this deeper appreciation, for our manufacturers, for those workers, just knowing that we're all connected on a global scale. I don't know, man. I've just been in a deep state of gratitude. Grateful. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful to be at home with my family. We need a lot more perspective, because one of the things that I've seen a lot of lately is just a lot of negativity, a lot of people, a lot of complaining. Yeah. There's been a lot of complaining, and I would just encourage everybody to really change your mindset, like, change your perspective, be grateful for what you have.
Absolutely.
It's
amazing because this time I was maybe a few months ago, I was like, man, I need more time with my wife. I need more time with my kids. And now we have it. And now we're like, oh man, I need to get back to work. No, I mean, this is a time to really enjoy and
careful what you wish for.
Focus on those things you've been asking for, man. This is a gift. Like, your kids are gonna remember this. Daddy, he sucked at teaching me math, but he was there. I was playing ABC with mouse with Daddy at this time. Really appreciate these things. I mean, I've been on more bike rides in the last week than I've been on in the last 2 years, man. You forget about that stuff. It's the time to return back to art, return back to your hobbies, pick up a new hobby. pick up a book that you probably read one chapter of and put down because you were quote unquote too busy. Isn't it amazing how you asked not to be too busy, and now we are too busy. Now you want to get busy again? Like, what is that dichotomy? Like,
seriously,
this is what we asked for, guys. Enjoy it, breathe it in. Man.
I saw something. I think it was today that said, if you don't come out of this learning something new, it was never about time. It was about discipline, and that spoke true to me. I think that's absolutely spot on. But I wanted to ask, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I think something that we haven't dove into is that there are a lot of people that have multiple businesses, like both you and Collin. So is that something when you're going through times like this that you're thankful for? Does it stress you out doubly because you've got like 2 businesses, 3 businesses to worry about, or how does it affect you whenever you've got many?
It's interesting when you have multiple businesses because different seasons call for different cycles of the business. So I know at one point we were at a growth rate in the restaurant business, so sales were here, but real estate was here, so we were able to balance it. But now we're at a time where everything's going this way, like everything's going down. So it's like, well, and it's funny because everybody's going through it too. It's like, oh, your sales suck too? Me too. So you find a little bit of comfort in doing that right now because everybody's going through it. So it's just like, let's just help each other get through this time because we know there's going to be an end to it. We've got some very smart people working right now. We've got some very smart business owners and banks and lenders and vendors that are working with us that know that this is for a short time. If we work together, it's easier to get through it than trying to be standoffish and worry about my goals, worry about my 4 no more. If we can work together during this time, we'll get through it better together. So this is a time when everybody's business sucks right now. I can't name one business owner that I've talked to in the last few days that just says, hey, my business is through the roof. Even those Publix and all these grocery stores, Kroger's and all the grocery stores that are still open, even though their sales are going great, they can't keep stuff on the rack. So they're stressing out employees. They're stressing out their vendors. So everybody's going through it right now, which gives me a sense of comfort. Like, it's not just me in this time. I know the last economic downturn, it was some people who had saved their money and were able to sustain it. Well, listen, people that save their money are in the same boat as people that are leveraged right now. So it's an interesting time to be in because everybody's going through it. So we're better together than isolated, I think.
So do you feel like you split your time evenly, or do you maybe spend more time where there's greater profits, greater revenues, or how does that time get split?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, it's interesting because real estate is kind of on hold right now. Not that to say, I think people still are bullish on real estate, but it's kind of like, let's wait to be bullish right now. So it's not like the market is necessarily downturning right now, not yet at least. I think it's definitely flattened, but it's only flattened because we're seeing how long this is going to last. And we're also trying to see what we're going to do on the other side of it. Who's going to be standing at the end of this? So in real estate, it's kind of like I've shifted to being more of a counselor, in some cases a shrink to some of my clients, and really trying to help them get through it. So that's the way I'm spending my time now. It's kind of insensitive to kind of push sales on people. I know, and one part of me says, hey, I got a family I got to take care of. Thank God my pipeline was pretty good and still have some residual payments there. Otherwise, I'd be shot in the water. But I think right now, the thing that's going to be most important to the people in real estate is just saying, hey, how can I help, man? Everybody's on hold. I deal with 2 sides of the coin. I got buyers and landlords, and I got sellers and tenants. And they're both struggling. The buyers and the landlords are struggling with financing and struggling with keeping their debt obligations, and the sellers and tenants are struggling, 1, if they have multiple locations, to keep their businesses open, and 2, to figure out what their expansion plans are going to be now, what's going to be available, what's going to be the opportunity. So, I mean, there's a balancing act there, but right now the best thing to do is just to ask how people are doing. In terms of the restaurant, I've probably been spending most of my time there because it's still open. We are definitely fighting to survive. I think that every day is a different challenge, and it's definitely a dichotomy switch where we were a fast casual restaurant where people would dine in, and that was our bread and butter to get people to come into the stores and come in multiple times. But now people are staying at home. So we've got to have that voice share, because now all the restaurants are trying to get that voice share, because we're all struggling. We're all trying to get that what they call TOMA, top of mind awareness. So I definitely think that my time is more on the restaurant side, only because the real estate deals are all on hold right now. But the restaurant is holding on right now. So definitely a little bit more focused on the restaurant side, I would say.
Cool.
All right, last question. and then we gotta let you go. But if I'm gonna get Maple Street to go, what am I ordering? Like, what am I gonna order? What's your favorite?
My go-to. So don't tell anybody this, but I'm on a pretty strict diet for the most part. I only eat Maple Street and on my cheat meals, and really I'm a follower of Biggie's 10 crack commandments. Don't get high on your own supply. I think that's number 8. But if I have a go-to, and when I do have my go-to, it's definitely the squawking goat, man. If you like goat cheese. My other go-to is the farmer, which is flaky biscuit, a nice breaded piece of chicken with a little bit of kick of hot sauce, and then it's topped with 3 pieces of pecan wood smoked bacon, cooked to perfection, melted cheese, house-made apple butter made from cored apples from scratch. All of our ingredients made from scratch. It just drizzles down in your mouth. It's like food porn, man. It's ridiculous. Makes you hungry just talking about it.
My mouth waters just hearing you describe it, man.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's the effect that we have on people. So yeah, and it's comfort food, man. It makes smiles happy, and it makes lives happy too, man.
Well,
Kentucky gravy, a runny egg, and a vanilla maple latte. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Everybody
can't
just
go
orders.
Can't go wrong with anything on the menu, really.
No.
Everybody just orders online, or what's the easiest way? How can our community support you guys right now?
Yeah, the best way to do our process right now is to order online at www.maplestreetbiscuits.com. That way we are able to still give gracious service. One of our core values is gracious service. We can still provide that. You just pull up. We call it the pop the trunk service. You just pop the trunk. We'll throw your items in there. You can also order online from our pantry. If you need toilet paper, you don't want to wait in line. You need paper towels, you don't need to wait in line. You need joy. You need fresh produce, you don't need to wait in line. You can just order that online with your order. Where else can you go get a squawking goat and toilet paper at the same time? It's the best way to order. But if you are confined to the home, we do third-party delivery through Bite Squad as well as Uber Eats.
Awesome, man. Jason, I love you, brother. Thanks for all you do, man.
Love you too, man. Always good to share with you, bro.
That's so good. Thanks for coming on. Mike, any last words before we sign off?
Nah, man, that's it. Always a pleasure, Jason. Take care, man.
Yeah, Mike. Good to see you, man.
All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Remember, we're going to be doing these every weekday at 12, in just about a half hour or so. And we appreciate you guys listening. This is the WHOA GNV podcast, the podcast bringing you businesses and individuals that make you go, whoa.
Whoa. You guys.
We'll see you later. Love you, Gainesville. Bye.